Hello, everyone. Thanks for taking a look at my channel today. In this channel, I'll try to go over some fundamental programming concepts to kind of give you guys some information on some important stuff you need to know if you're just starting programming or if you're trying to get into a language that I'm talking about. Today, we're going to be talking about the Java programming language. Specifically, we're going to be talking about decision structures and the if statement. The if statement's a really common Java decision structure. It allows you to basically compare two different variables or even a variable and a explicit value. And to see if one's greater than the other, to see if one is less than the other, or to see if it's hard to see if they're equal. I want you to take a look at these if statements here and see how they're constructed. It usually comes with an if statement. It's usually paired with an else or an else if, or sometimes you'll see them by themselves. But the if is basically asking the question, is asking, if is this condition inside these parentheses true? Does it evaluate out to be true? So for the first one, we can see that the first number is equal to 100 and the second number is equal to 50. So is the first number greater than the second number? We know that 100 is greater than 50. So this if statement is true. So inside the if statement, we told the if statement what it should do if the expression in the inner parentheses turns out to be true. And in this case, we wanted to print out first number is greater than the second number. And that's what it should do if we print this. But before we do run this, let's go ahead and look at this else if statement. What does that mean? The else if is basically a second condition that we want the computer to evaluate to find out if it's true or not, depending on what's inside of these parentheses. And then there's an else also. So what is that? The else is basically what the computer executes if any previous else ifs or if statements are found to be incorrect. So basically it's the last option that the computer has to execute. And if it does reach the else statement, it will always execute that. So let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. 100 is greater than 50. And that's exactly what we expected to get, right? Because as you can see, this is the comparative operator known as greater than. Facing the opposite way will be the less than. So we can see that this is basically asking the question, is the first number greater than the second number? And that turns out to be true. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to print out this system out, print ln message to the console. This is a really basic example of if statements. Sometimes you may see if statements by themselves. Sometimes you may see if statements with an else attached to it. Sometimes you may see something like this where they have if and they have else if and they have else. And one thing to note is that an if statement can have an unlimited amount of else ifs, which are basically alternative conditions that you want the computer to evaluate for. But remember, they can always, no matter what, they can only have one if, and they can only have one else within the if statement. I hope that helps you guys a little bit. Next time in the next video, I'll be discussing if statements again, but I'll be expanding on a little bit so that we can talk about how we can make them more complex and to do more cool things using something called logical operators. I hope that you guys liked this video. I hope that you found it helpful and you learned something new. Go ahead and like this video and subscribe if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.